Hello and welcome to Admit One, your movie and TV podcast right here on Rabbit Hole Media. I am one of your hosts, Jack Nedley Thompson, and as always and as usual, I am joined by one Kristian Lasham. I realise I've never given you a name.
No, well, my name's Kristian. You refer to anyone that's on with you as the one Rich Hill, the one Kristian Lasham, the one Charlie Cooper, which is fine. I'm okay with this. I'm okay with it. I would argue that we should, however, be given rankings, though. I feel like if I'm the one, that makes Rich the 2.
And Charlie the 9.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is Admit One, your movie and TV podcast right here on Rabbit Hole Media. If you like what you're doing is watching us. You can follow us on Twitter at rabbithole_UK. You can subscribe to us on YouTube where you can see us anytime that you wish. You can follow us on Twitch at Rabbit Hole Media. And you can subscribe and follow on multiple different podcast services on and around the internet.
Indeed.
And now you can follow us on Instagram at rabbithole_media_UK and on TikTok at Rabbit Hole Media for all the behind the scenes tits and bits. If you would like to support us, head to merch.rabbitholemedia.co.uk for a wide range of merchandise that recently got wider. And finally, if you are watching us live on Twitch and are an Amazon Prime member, you get one free Twitch Prime membership a month. Please find it within your hearts to give that membership to us. It doesn't cost you a penny, but it goes a very long way into helping us bring you the shows that you love.
Yes, it does.
Got my smoker's teeth on there.
Nice.
Lovely. We are here today to talk about Mission Impossible Fallout. Nah, give me those juicy general thoughts, Kristian.
It's to write down the time for I wasn't ready. 2 minutes. So, as I always like to preface, I've not watched the Mission Impossible films before, but this was the one I had seen. And I saw it last year, I think, specifically because my mum and dad got it on 4K Blu-ray and I wanted a 4K Blu-ray to watch. So I watched it last year, and I kind of, leading up to this, I couldn't remember it, or I couldn't remember if I remembered it to be even more clear. And as I was watching, I was like, oh yeah, I do remember this, but I didn't remember enough details to realize that it's following on from Rogue Nation. Mm-hmm. When watching Rogue Nation, I did not put it together at all that even Rebecca Ferguson was still in it, and just none of it linked to me for some reason. So it felt quite fresh watching this time, even though I had seen it before, because I was watching it with such a different perspective. And I had a fucking great time with this film.
Yeah, this is my favourite one.
Yeah, hands down, easily. I think it's there are so many things about this film which take it to another level. Even just from filmmaking point of view, this was the first one I've watched. And I've watched them all in the same way, but this was the first one I've watched where I found myself just going, oh, with like the production and the sound design and just really feeling hype for moments and feeling stress when you needed to feel stressed and tension. And I think it nailed every element of how to make a film, personally. So much more than the others have. It seems like they suddenly just took it to a whole new level. Which is weird because in many ways they didn't, but something about it just kind of clicks.
Yeah, I kind of think, because this is the same director and writer as Rogue Nation, and I kind of feel like he joined this Mission Impossible world and was kind of told what he can and can't do, and then that film did really well and was really good, and then they just went,
yeah,
cool, because he's doing 7 and 8 as well.
I'm on board.
Me too. I do remember when this film started coming out for home release, though. They started, the writer and director Christopher McQuarrie and Tom Cruise, I can't remember what it was exactly. They started doing videos on turning a specific feature off on your TV.
All right.
It was really weird. I can't remember what it was. Somebody do a Google for me, because I can't remember what it was. It was really weird and really dumb. They were just like, turn this off on your TV to make it the cinematic experience.
I see.
And it kind of became a bit of a joke.
It's probably already off on my TV.
And there was one very strange use of lens flare very early in the movie.
Yep, I noticed.
And then never again.
It does do the very infuriating thing of the aspect ratio changes. So frustrating. We've had aspect ratio discussions on this channel before, but you don't like the ultra wide aspect ratio.
See, if it's all that though, I don't really.
That's the thing.
Mind.
I don't mind it, but when you start changing between them, fuck off.
It stands out.
Especially because the stuff that was the larger aspect ratio, which I assume must have been shot on IMAX cameras or something, looks so much better. Like you can tell it's a better camera for one, but it just looks better. It feels more screen, and then that feels like it's more. I know it's the point they wanted to feel more impactful, so they're using it for the bigger action sequences and stuff.
Yeah, but then I find it very distracting,
especially on one of the later.
Motion smoothing.
Yeah,
Thank you, Rich.
I have that off anyway. I don't want none of that fake fast frame rate bullshit. No. The end scene with the helicopter, as it was switching between him and the helicopter and like Benji and that on the ground.
God,
it was shot for. It was like a shot at the time. It was just like wide, not wide, not wide.
That was irritating.
Really distracting.
Distracting is the best way to put it, because it wasn't so bad with the Halo jump scene. Mm-hmm. Because it was that entire sequence was that, and then it just cut back to it. Like it was 16:9 or whatever, 21:9, 16:9 again. I know it wasn't quite 21:9.
Yeah,
there was that little.
It wasn't
bit at
quite
the top.
either, I don't think, but I'm sure IMDb will tell us. Let's find out.
Aren't all movies 16:9?
No, 16:9 is a UK thing. In America, it's different.
Dumb. Why is there Why? How about you make it fill the screen you're watching it on?
Yeah. Agreed. Let's have a look. Technical specs. Aspect ratio switches between 190 IMAX in some scenes and 239.1, which is 21.9 is what that works out as being. It's just different ways of measuring it.
Fair enough. Yeah, it's remarkably distracting. Nolan's the worst at it because he does it all the time. Why don't people just film the entire goddamn film on IMAX? I understand that when they did it in The Dark Knight, and there were only 4 IMAX cameras in the world, Christopher Nolan broke 2 of them, by the way, that it would probably be a bit pricey.
I mean,
it's been 13 years since then.
I feel like you don't have to do it even on IMAX, because IMAX is... The point of IMAX cameras is not just the aspect ratio, because most cameras can do that. It's the high resolution and the high frame rates it can do, and the stupid amount of depth of field and the stupid fucking field of view it can have is what's good about IMAX cameras. But you can do a quote-unquote full screen, not an ultra-wide screen thing. And... The reason that you get ultra-wide screen is because most standard cinema screens are ultra-wide.
Yes.
But what I can't understand is why can't you release multiple like these films, like they're not filmed.
Frame it.
Yeah, they're not filmed ultra-wide.
No, I know. They're cut down and framed.
Because then it's moved and cropped and adjusted. Like they're just not. Avengers is an example. The Avengers film is not filmed. It's all filmed on IMAX cameras, which are not ultra-wide.
Yes.
They're just not. And then the Blu-ray version has all been cropped down to an ultra-wide aspect ratio.
That was a legal thing.
I know it's a legal thing.
Which is insane. What IMAX themselves said you can't release it in this aspect ratio.
So you can't release it in the IMAX aspect ratio. And the IMAX aspect ratio is taller than 16:9, which is standard widescreen TVs. But I can't understand, why can't you do it in 16:9 at that point? Because it's a different aspect ratio still. It's so weird.
Considering the first Avengers did it as well.
Yeah, I know.
The first Avengers actually did it, and it's glorious. And Ant-Man.
And yeah, I don't... Ooh.
It's one of the things I will never get over. We will stop talking about aspect ratios soon.
For me, it's just a case of like release them in different versions, because even if you went to see Avengers at the cinema, if you went to an IMAX screen, you'd have it in IMAX aspect ratio. If you went to a standard one, it would be ultra wide. So you'd have the top and the bottom would be cropped, but it would fit the full screen, because if they shrunk it down to be an IMAX aspect ratio on the standard ultra wide, you'd get black bars on the left and right.
Do you know what will bother you even more? So next time we go and see an IMAX movie, or you go and see an IMAX movie, look at how the screen isn't full.
Oh yeah, no, I've noticed that in the past.
Yeah. It's infuriating.
Yeah. There is one particular screen at Cineworld Crawley which is badly mapped, and it fucking shines on the bottom of the speakers. It's like, great, your projector's off. Wonderful. Well done, team. It's been like it forever as well.
Thankfully, I go into one screen. It's the IMAX one.
Richard just said, what? IMAX said you can't release it as that aspect. Yeah, so there was a legal thing. We looked into it because we thought it was weird at the time that Avengers, it was the first film to be filmed entirely on IMAX cameras. When it released on Blu-ray, wasn't released in a full screen aspect ratio. And it was a legal battle where the aspect ratio that IMAX shoots in is like specific to IMAX and is owned by IMAX.
But here's what's dumb, though. That's just free advertising for why people should film in IMAX.
Yeah.
Just let them put it out there. Even if they made a deal where they take a cut of home release, put it out there. That's advertising. So it's like to show people and filmmakers and just the people of whatever, this is why IMAX is better.
But you don't even have to film in IMAX to have full screen.
No, I know you don't. Because
Like-
as you said, everything is filmed like
It
that.
doesn't make any
It's then
sense.
just cut down.
Like, we've done it. We did a video that we chose to do in an ultra-wide aspect ratio for the aesthetic style of the
Yeah.
video. But I don't have a problem if you want to do that as part of the thing. But it was shot on a 16:9 camera and then cropped and moved around accordingly. And we could have done a full 16:9 version if we wanted to at the same time. It's totally doable.
Well, yeah, because we filmed it, but we framed it up so we could lose the top and bottom.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean you have to lose the top
No.
and bottom.
And
Shang-Chi recently has been like advertising for IMAX, like this is what extra you get. So you know that has been filmed. You're
Yeah.
just cropping it off.
Yeah.
So what? It's one of those things that really bothers me because it's just like, why do we have like these TVs being the shape and size that they are has been for so long, and many a film have been released for home release in that time. Millions, probably, I would imagine. Why haven't they cottoned on? Why is this? I don't understand. Why is this better? I need someone in the industry who isn't a pretentious fuck, which is hard to come by these days, it would seem.
have we just found someone in the industry that isn't a pretentious fuck? Invite them on. They should be our first outside guest.
History who is into pretentious book which is hard to come by.
Did Siri just suggest you a book about finding it hard to come? Is that what just happened?
No. But I mean, it's definitely not. I was about to say Stephen King. Not Stephen King. Indiana Jones.
Steven Spielberg.
Spielberg. Yeah, he seems to be a bit of a pretentious fuck. Anyway, but yeah, we need to talk to someone who isn't a pretentious fuck as to why this aspect ratio is better. Yeah, so I turned off that setting that I thought was causing it, but clearly not. My watch is just a pervert and wants to listen to me at all times, it would seem.
I can understand that. You have a very nice voice.
Thanks. Anyway, let's talk about the film.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I went general thoughts at 2 minutes. We're now 13 and a half minutes in.
Aspect ratio is a very hot topic on Rabbit Hole. Yep. Yeah, I love this movie. I think it's the best one. I'm very glad that it's the same director, writing team for the next lot. I'm very excited for those. Next year, we get 7. So, we'll be back. And I think that's particularly exciting. Because I think everything was better in this film. I think just the performances all round were better. I think the dynamics between the team, even though we unfortunately did not get Jeremy Renner, was better this time round. We've got some more Alec Baldwin. I like Alec Baldwin. I think the stunts and action stuff was really fucking good.
Yep.
Especially considering when you know which ones Tom Cruise actually fucking did.
Yep.
They even used the shot where he broke his foot.
Probably because he couldn't do it again. He had broken his foot.
It's also kind of a general rule of thumb, like an unspoken rule. As if you injure yourself, that's the take.
Yeah.
But with stunt people, that's kind of what they do. And yes, obviously, they wouldn't have been able to do it again after that because his foot was fucked.
Yeah. He literally limps off in the shot.
Yeah. But yeah, some of the all the stunts and the action stuff was really fucking cool. Like, I don't think there was a single boring action set piece
I didn't
in
think
this.
there was a single boring moment of the film. Personally, all the way through it. Let's see. Hannah says, fun fact, they actually set up that building jump to do in London. Greg Rutherford was overseeing it, and my brother attempted it.
Did he also break his foot?
Who's
Greg Rutherford?
He was an Olympic long jumper for Great Britain. Won gold in 2012.
Fair enough.
Not sure how I know that, but there you go. I do. I don't think any of this film was boring all the way through. I think it was great. I think it paced really well. Every scene was interesting. The plot was far more interesting. It did what I asked them to do last week, which was just to have them on a mission.
Did it?
Yeah, well, essentially it was them on a mission. Like, things were going wrong and there was some corruption going, but they were on a mission for the IMF. It wasn't, you've been disavowed and the IMF has been disbanded, which is what most of them have been so far.
The disbanded bit, only one of them, but the well, I mean, they only always got disavowed like midway through the mission, and even then, he essentially did.
Oh, he kind of did. Only not quite though.
No, he just got accused of being one of the biggest.
But he didn't actually get accused. Spoilers. Let's go into spoilers.
Spoilers.
He didn't actually get accused though. They pretended he was getting accused to set up Superman.
Well, yeah, but I mean, so Superman obviously reported it to
Waller. Sloane.
Sloane. She definitely believed him. 100%. She was coming after him.
Who changed her mind then?
I don't know. That's a good point.
Because
I don't know.
It seemed to be the next time we saw...
To be fair, that's my one thing with this film is it doesn't make sense when they came up with that plan at all.
Yeah, I did think when they come up with that plan, but it seems like the impression I got, there was never a point where they believed that evidence. That was the impression I got.
That's entirely possible, but still, when did they set up that plan?
Because my thinking would be, the whole time when that was going on, I was like, how are you buying this? Like, as we said last week,
the amount of shit he's done. Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Because even his motive of, he's been disavowed so many times, don't buy it. Like, don't buy that at all. Especially as he was being disavowed the last time, and at that point he would have already been like doing it then. It doesn't make sense. So yeah, I didn't buy it. I wouldn't have bought it. So I feel like they all probably would have gone, no, Henry Cavill's up to no good.
Yeah, that's fair. Obviously, they didn't try they never tried to convince the audience that it was Tom Cruise, because they made a point of showing the phones and that it was a different phone with the evidence on it. So it was obviously meant to be clear. The moustache is mischievous. Mm-hmm. I will talk about Henry Cavill though, because he makes me question things throughout this movie. I'm not going to lie.
What's making you question, Jack?
I mean, how much it would cost.
What, to have his mustache? I'm very confused.
No. To let him have me, I suppose. Particularly, I don't know what it is about it, but I was just like, I understand. Was the arm reloading thing? I was just like, yeah, I'd let him.
Fair enough.
There you go. But I can't remember what I was going to say now. Distracted by Henry Cavill and his arm reloading. While we're there, we may as well talk about that fucking fight in the loos.
That was the one scene I remembered, and it's fucking great.
It is, isn't it? My
Very
God,
good.
Like, there's comedic elements. All the choreography is great. They all fight in completely different ways, and it just works so well together. Like, how strong do you have to be to flip a human over your shoulder to the point where they fly through a wall? Admittedly, it was mirrors, but you got to assume there was a bit of wall.
Yeah, otherwise what's the mirror on?
Exactly. So, through a wall, that's some strength.
Yeah, I love that sequence. I think it's great. I think there's the right amount of tension in it as well. There's kind of there's almost like a bit of them trying to one up each other, kind of throughout the fight, which I really liked as well. And then just the fact that it fucking like hits him with the case, and then when they go to use the case, it's all fucked.
Yeah,
like really nice little things like that. Because normally a film the twat and with the thing, and then they just use the thing later. And it's like, well, how does that still work?
Like, he twatted him hard as well. Like, goodness me. I felt that. That was not only a film filmed 3 years ago or whatever, taking place in a different country. I felt it from there. The past Paris, and I felt that smack. Like, the way you hear it smash as well, and you're just like, I don't know whether that crunch was the metal on the laptop or that guy's nose. I'm not entirely sure.
Probably a good combination of both. Yeah.
Just some satisfying crunch sound as he just drops like a sack of shit. Just
does as well. Yeah, that whole sequence is great. And when Singing Lady comes in and shoots the dude, I like the way they deal with that as well, because that leaves a mess. It's like a lot of the times in the film that just gets so overseen of just someone's been shot, great, and there's just a little trickle of blood. This was just like big puddle of blood on the floor. They make a comment about like he doesn't have a face left, and then the way they play that off
as a nosebleed,
it's like that much blood.
It's insane. It's pretty insane.
Mind you, I'd buy it. If I walked into a bathroom and saw exactly that scene and then had Tom Cruise running at me saying, do you want some? I'd be like, yeah, all right, fair enough.
Well, I wouldn't necessarily buy it, but I wouldn't argue.
No, yeah.
I would just leave. I'd be like...
So I guess mission accomplished either way.
Yes, exactly. I'd just be like, not today. I'll go pee in a cup. Shit in an alleyway, whatever it takes, but I'm not fucking with that small man. But I think it was all great. And then pretty much immediately after that, oh yeah, actually, I like it when he says you're going to rely on hope, or the exact line is, hope is not a strategy. She's just like, you must be new. Yeah, that was good. That was good. I like the dynamic between all of them. Get off your phone.
I was checking something to do with the film.
It's fine. I'll let you off. Yeah, I think Rebecca Ferguson is great in these movies.
Yep, she's very good.
I think she has a really good dynamic and a new layer to Ethan.
Yep.
Ethan, I'm sure. Oh, no, never mind. I was going to make a very bad joke.
Tell me that. It's fine.
It's fine. But yeah, pretty much immediately after that, they then go into the meeting with the White Widow. I was very much expecting Scarlett Johansson.
This is what I was going to look up. I was going to look up her name, and you told me off, and I didn't do it. Carry on.
Nice bit of tension whether
Vanessa Kirby.
When you're waiting to find out whether or not she knows what John Lark looks like. They never really specify whether or not she knew he was bullshitting the entire time.
Yeah, it's not sure. I like that. That's kind of they do that in one of the earlier films. Let's just hope they know what they look like, and I like they're just going with that again.
Don't know if you caught. She mentions her mum is Max.
Yeah, I didn't get the reference.
That is the woman who wants the knock list in the first one. The woman on. That is Max. But anyway, yes. All that tension of that scene, trying to like, does she know? Does she know? Does she know? And then they just kick ass together again, which is.
So yeah, I wanted to actually give like a particular shout to Vanessa Kirby, who plays that character, the White Widow. I thought she was fantastic in this. I haven't really seen her in much else. I've seen her in. I know she was in The Crown, which was a Netflix series.
Yeah, I haven't seen The Crown, so
I haven't really seen her in anything, but I thought she was really, really good.
She was, yeah. The only other thing I've seen her in is Hobbs and Shaw.
Okay.
But that movie is not the best of anyone's performances there, and not the act. Beat you to it. And that's not any of the actors in that film's fault at all. Obviously, in most things, The Rock is very enjoyable. In most things, Jason Statham is even enjoyable, just because he kicks things in a very British way.
Yep.
Don't know what that is.
No, I know. It's the way Jason Statham kicks things. I understand.
And Idris Elba's in that movie as well, who's obviously fantastic.
Yeah.
So it's not to speak. Technically, time-wise, you didn't. Because you're watching the past. But no, in this, she was great. I kind of hope they leave it open for her to be able to come back. But obviously, this is Mission Impossible, so it seems unlikely.
Yeah, or might just turn up as a cameo at some point or something like that.
Yeah,
or
maybe a couple films down the line or whatever.
Yeah.
But I'd like her to come back because she was very good.
Should we see if she's on the cast list for the new one?
Why not?
Do
Imagine
not
if her and Jeremy Renner showed up in the next one.
Oh, yes, please.
It'd be a great life.
Yep, she's in it. Literally third
Knew
on the
it.
list. So Rebecca Ferguson's back in it. Vanessa Kirby's in it. Hayley Atwell's in it.
Oh,
Pom Clementif is in it.
is that Mantis?
Yeah.
How's Tom Cruise not in this list?
He is. He seemed like an obvious one.
What? No, I know, but it seemed like he wasn't top billing.
He was second billing, strangely. Rebecca Ferguson was above him.
That makes zero sense.
I don't recognise any of the rest of being interesting casting or characters. So, you'll be pleased to know that Simon Pegg and...
That's how Tom Cruise and Hayley Atwell got together. I didn't know they were together. I
Never
don't
know.
tend to follow the gossip of
No.
celebrity relationships.
No, not for me.
I don't tend to give a shit. But that is a good tidbit. This is a good tidbit. It also makes sense. It does make sense. That age difference must be gigantic.
I'm not going to
They've broken up. Also, he's old enough to be her dad. Yeah, that's kind of what. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. I don't know if I'd ever be brave enough to break up with Tom Cruise.
I don't know if I'd ever be brave up to communicate with Tom Cruise.
Oh, that's fair. That's also fair. But I mean, if you were in that point where you're in a relationship, you're like, hey, he's Tom Cruise. I think with a phone call, he could destroy you.
And also, I feel like Tom Cruise got a pretty good thing going.
Yeah, Tom Cruise. Unless he is just a dick.
That's plausible, but is it worth it?
Depends how
Just
much.
saying.
Depends how much money you're getting. You know?
There's some people it's worth it for. That's all I'm saying. That's why Jack and I are still together.
What money?
Well, not money, but potential money.
So get subscribing on Twitch. Follow us on TikTok so we can get those dumb ads.
Otherwise, Jack and I are going to break up.
Only
Plausible.
on camera. Dramatically.
Yeah, well, now it happens off camera.
And then we'll have a reunion and it'll be a big deal somehow. Because I swear to God, reunions of things are more successful
Yeah, they
than
are.
the things. Doesn't make any sense. It's like a reunion. So if we just pay to promote a rabbit hole reunion,
Yeah, I'm on board with that. Take a couple of weeks off.
I was just going to do it on Thursday.
Yeah, I'm right with that.
Took a day off.
We just don't talk to each other tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Hannah says, do you think so many of the Mission Impossible films end up in London at some point because we have such a big Scientology centre? Probably, and also the movie filming tax breaks.
Yeah.
So I actually imagine most of it is in London. They just pretend it's somewhere else.
Yeah.
Other than the parts that are very obviously not London. Like, that helicopter scene was not in London.
No, it's in a green screen studio.
No, it wasn't. He was flying a
Yeah,
helicopter.
I know.
That was one of the most ridiculous stunts he's ever done.
Yep.
Learn how to fly a helicopter. And pulled off what helicopter pilots say is one of the most difficult things to do in a helicopter, which is that weird
Yeah.
spin thing he does.
But we all know that
Norway,
Tom
there
Cruise
you
is
go.
ridiculous. So
We do. In a very attractive... What?
yes, I know. I agree. Wholeheartedly agree. Special man.
I want to know what he's doing for the next ones because there was some ridiculous shit in this movie like that he's done.
Oh, I assume at some point Tom Cruise will die making an Mission Impossible movie.
Yeah, or Top Gun.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. Or anything. So yeah, so he did the helicopter scene. He was flying the helicopter. He also did the dangling thing where he fell to the...
You can tell from the way it's shot because it's clearly like GoPro stuck
Yeah.
on the helicopter.
Yeah.
Because some of those shots are a bit shit because of the way it is. Like the one where he's like climbing into the door on the side. It's not a very good shot. And it makes sense it's not a great shot because it's clearly fucking a camera strapped on the side of the helicopter. So they're just making with what they got.
And yeah, the halo jump was real. Mm-hmm. I mean, I feel... I feel that they kind of ruined the halo jump by adding so much CG into the background.
There was a few bits of this film where I feel like CG stood out in places a bit more, but it didn't distract me or anything.
No, it doesn't distract me, and it doesn't take away from the film itself. See you later, Rich. It was more just, you did this stunt for real, and you kind of made it look faker. Obviously, you can't jump through a lightning storm. That would be insane. But the fact that this was filmed by them actually halo jumping and a poor cameraman who clearly wasn't being paid enough for that day, falling to his doom while holding a camera and having to like perfectly time it. Obviously, it wasn't just a cameraman; it was obviously a trained skydiver, a halo jumper. But you know, and then there's just all this really CG lightning and clouds and what have you, and obviously a fake Paris. Very unlikely that the French government would let you do that over Paris, particularly for a year. That might get bothersome to some, but. One jokey remark I didn't need was the, you seem to have lost your oxygen. What was it? Fuck you. At that point, the first time I saw it was like, villain.
Yeah, that's what they're doing. They're trying to just build up this idea that this guy's a bit of a dick. I like it. I think they do a really good job.
Yeah, that was the only line. Now I was actually no, that's not true because I'll take that back. If I did have only line, it was the fact that Benji, the computer wizard, made 2 tablet mistakes in 5 seconds.
That was so fucking funny. It really got me.
I had the screen lock on. Oh, I had it in 2D. One of them was fine. Doing it twice is like,
Oh, no, I thought that was hilarious. I like that whole...
I'm jumping out a window! And all of Britain just looking at this person, not doing anything, just looking at this person like they're fucking insane.
The only thing that was unrealistic about it, if that was filmed today, about 5 of those people would be filming in for TikTok.
Oh, for sure. I wasn't saying it was particularly unrealistic. I was actually going to point out how realistic it was that Britain did not care. They were just lost. They were confused by the fact that this American has just walked in, thrown, like, that woman must be going, this man has just appeared, thrown my chair out the window, and then leapt. Just gone. I'd be like, that you would stand there for like 15 minutes. Just contemplating what the fuck happened.
And then I'd be going home after that. But, well, I'm not working anymore.
I don't have a chair.
An event has happened.
I don't have a chair. I have an event. An event has happened. I'm traumatized. I need to go home. Hannah says, I remember getting a memo at work that Blackfriars was going to be shut because they were filming Mission Impossible.
Very cool.
That is pretty cool.
I like it when films go to London and go to areas of London that I know. I always enjoy that. I know that. I've been there many times.
I mean, most films just do that by going anywhere in London and tilting the camera slightly up so you can see the buildings. And they go, I know that.
Yeah.
So you probably don't know that little borough of London. That's probably like southeast Soho.
No, but I do know Blackfriars and Tate Modern.
Well, yes. And just like Ethan Hunt did, I too would feel very, very awkward if I accidentally walked into a clearly high-profile funeral.
Yeah. Yeah, that needed more security than just 2 guys at the door.
Yeah, I was just like, oh. Pretty much like he did, just, I'm terribly sorry.
I do want to talk a little bit about the plot on this one, because I think, the films so far have all been fairly...
generic spy movies.
I think this one had a lot more to it, because there was a lot more kind of back and forth and a lot of sort of double agent stuff that you kind of knew early on. Mm-hmm. But the way it kind of because it doesn't really do like a big, he was the bad guy all along.
It very much, it's their realization as opposed to your realization, which
you're made aware of that well before they are.
Yeah, so you're
means
kind of there sat there just tense, like, oh, what's he going to do?
The realization we get as the audience is that they've already cottoned on to him. That's the realization we get, which I think was really, like, other than the fact it was like, when did you come up with that? I thought it was really satisfying because it's such a different take on that. It's a positive take. It's see, we're good at our jobs. And I've said from the beginning of watching Mission Impossible, my favorite things about these films is when you're seeing the team be good at what they do. And it's something that I've always thought strange about these kind of films, when you have like a superhero film or an action hero film where it's like,
And they're just really shit at it.
yeah, and they're like it's one of my biggest complaints with the last two Batman movies in the Nolan series is that majority of that film is Batman losing, and it's like, I don't want to watch that. I want to see these people do what they're good at doing. I want to watch Bourne be Bourne. I want to watch Bond be Bond. I want to watch Iron Man be Iron Man. I don't want to watch them losing. So when you're seeing
I do feel it would get boring after a while.
after a while, but a lot of these go into it straight by the sequel.
Well, yeah, no, Dark Knight made sense. That's the whole point of Batman and Joker. So I do kind of.
I kind of get it, but it didn't. Like, just the example there is, we're not really talking about those films, but the example there is, for me, it didn't give me enough of seeing Batman as Batman. Like, all the things I liked from Batman Begins, it didn't give me enough of that going.
Yeah, I do think Dark Knight probably should have been the third one.
Mm-hmm, I'd agree. But that's a different topic. It's just an example. Like, but what this film did was a big chunk of it was them being a successful team, and that I really enjoyed watching. I do not want to see Bourne be Bourne.
You never know.
No, I do. I absolutely do.
You don't want to watch the birth of J.
I don't want to watch the birth of anyone or anything ever again.
Ever again.
Have you not been? You must have seen a video of a baby being born or something like that.
Well, yeah, yes, obviously.
There you go. Do you want to watch it again?
Not really.
There you go. Point proven.
But maybe if it was Matt Damon.
All right, grant you. Maybe if it was Matt Damon giving birth, I'd be interested. Right, so what bit separates?
I thought it was just a big poo. No, the plot of this film is great. I do really like. I like the fact that it is just mostly, obviously, to be fair, most of everything does go wrong, but it's not for lack of their.
It goes wrong, but they deal with it.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't go wrong to the point where it's just like, oh, you shit, aren't you? This isn't quite going to plan. They're going to work it out, and that's what's satisfying. That's why they're a good team, because they're able to roll with the punches and go with the flow and make these things up on the spot and trust each other, and that's why it works.
The what is he doing? I find it best not to look. That sort of thing. It's nice to see. I do like the fact that we are at a point where we at least get a consistent few. And that's going to carry on, clearly.
Which is good.
Because I imagine Ving Rhames and Simon Pegg were on that cast list. So we get Benji back, we get Luther back. We've obviously got Ilsa Faust back as well. We've got White Widow back. Can't remember what her real name, her character's real name was.
I don't know. White Widow is all I remember it being.
Yeah. She's back as well. I would somewhat assume we don't get Solomon Lane again, but he's not on the team. So... we definitely are getting Henry Cavill back.
No, he's very dead.
He dead. Like the most definitively dead person in this entire
That
franchise.
is the kind of thing, if they somehow make him come back, I'm done.
Oh yeah, then that's some
just
bullshit.
So much bullshit to
That's
make
some
that
bullshit.
happen.
That's some Marvel level coming back from the dead nonsense.
Because that was face burned, hook in face, splattered against a rock.
Yes.
Which you see him like...
You see, well, you don't see him splat. You see him bounce off.
Yeah,
like,
and then there's a good smear of blood he leaves. He did.
He's gone. He's gone. That sizzle as he was getting smacked in the face by the oil, though. But yeah, that was fucking brutal. Just the climbing there, face fucked already, then just whoosh. I'd argue if this was a higher age rating, that would have done what would have really happened, and his head would have just been ripped off.
Oh, yeah.
Because of the weight of that helicopter, his neck would have just and torn, like here. Gone. Just straight gone. He fell into a flaming helicopter as well. That is true.
And was also... There was, again, many points in this film, with many of the cast, dead. Like, there was so many points. It was like, dead. Any normal human, dead.
Why can't I think of them?
Well, Tom Cruise crashed a helicopter into another helicopter for one, and then down a cliffside.
Oh, yes. That entire sequence, I'd argue Tom Cruise is dead.
I would also argue when he fucking crashes his bike into that car and just goes flying over it without any
That roll does
protection
look really weird. He stops very suddenly.
Yeah. Dead. Real human dead.
Yeah,
Like,
well.
even, I think, when they fucking run over Elsa at one point, dead. Ilsa.
No, they didn't. They didn't hurt that hard.
I know, she rolled over that car. She did.
You can roll over a car without dying. That was a real person that rolled over that car. I don't think they actually killed someone.
As a stunt. Like, I feel like if you were just on the street and a car hit you and you rolled up dead, we can test it if you want.
Yeah, sure. I'll
It's
run
fine.
you over.
We won't. I was going to say, we don't have
She
to
had a
use
helmet
your...
on. Yeah, see?
Oh, yeah,
exactly.
okay, that makes all the difference. Okay, she may have survived. Fair enough. Tom Cruise crashing a helicopter down a cliffside.
No, dead. Dead, yeah. Dead. Yeah, it wasn't a snuff film, yeah. Imagine we see an action film, everybody loves it, becomes the most successful film of all time, and they just reveal that the reason the special effects were so good was because they just murdered everyone.
I'd be okay with this. The plague we had didn't work, so I'm fine with finding a new method. Sorry, it was very dark.
Fair, though. What were we talking about? Oh, yeah, Henry Cavill being destroyed by a helicopter. No, that entire last act, essentially, being hit in the face by Henry Cavill with a laptop, dead.
Yeah, probably, to be fair. I mean, he did die, that guy, to be fair.
I mean, that was via bullet, though.
Yeah,
so
it was.
he survived the laptop incident and the wall incident and the armors being reloaded. His heart just didn't give out with pure arousal. That's reasonably unrealistic. Because I had to pause it and take 10 minutes.
I'm not going to say what I was going to say. I'll leave it to your imagination.
Why can't I remember anything? Oh, of course there is a... Oh, no. The scene where this is the escape, the plan where they break out Solomon Lane.
Oh, yeah.
That entire scene was fucking great.
Yep.
And the fact that obviously they don't lean into it at all. You suspect something's going to happen. That was different to the imagination.
Yeah, well, what I really liked was they kind of the sort of forward dream sequence he had. It's kind of showing you what the plan is going to be.
Yeah. Well, no, that's exactly what.
Yeah, but it's not doing, because normally these films have gone, here's the plan, and it shows you it, but explains that this is the plan and tells you the plan.
Well, normally, so it shows you it while they're explaining it, but you're seeing it in real time, so that's what they're actually doing.
But this wasn't. This was just, it cut to the thing taking place and then was backtracked to him picturing what was going on, you know. But that's the plan. This is the plan. But so immediately, obviously, the plan changes. But what I like about that is that because it doesn't explicitly tell you this is the plan, and it doesn't tell you the plan is changing, it's just letting you put those pieces together. And you put the pieces together and it's like, aha, he is up to something. Where is he going to go?
He's up to no good. Well, he's up to good. He's not up to no good. Pushing that thing. That shot with the fucking water when he's when he's in the truck and Solomon's there still tied up. He's like prepping himself, and obviously because of the angle of the angle the truck's in, clearly just facing down, the water is just coming at him, vertically at him, and it looks so good.
It's very good.
It looks so good. That was a great shot.
Very, very good.
Completely agree that this is the best made one.
Yeah, absolutely.
From a filmmaking point of view, because there's shots like that.
Yeah, and there's so many, because even a lot of the cinematography and some of the helicopter sequence and the halo jump sequence, along with many other, even the chase sequence, the foot chase sequence through London, the car chase sequence through Paris, all of these things were shot so well. And the sound design for me in this film was fucking next level.
I think the use of the Mission Impossible theme in the score was the best.
Absolutely. But sound design from a musical point of view, but even just like
from a general point of view.
I can't remember what it was. There's a point where like one of them gets like knocked out briefly or something. Like it's in the middle of like high impact music. And obviously I've been watching with the surround sound on and I had it quite loud.
Of course, that's how you do it.
Yes, I'm sure the neighbours are thrilled.
If it's and before 11 p.m, fuck them.
Big like action sequence thing, bam, 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 and someone gets bashed, and it just goes to dead silence, and it
goes like really muffled. What scene is that though? Is that where he gets hit by the bike? He crashes the bike, and it just goes like hard cuts.
Hard cut to dead silence, and just that ringing.
Yeah,
it's so good because it just adds. It's an example of taking something away having impact, like because it feels like you've been hit as well because of the sudden boom, it stopped. Really, really good throughout the entire film. So much dynamics. It really made those action sequences pump and feel tense. And then added to the scenarios of when you needed to feel like anticipation and stress and everything. It did that. It used the soundtrack and the sound design in such a good way, and a really good surround sound mix. Mm-hmm. Really, really good surround sound mix.
But
So the thing is, I love surround sound, but a lot of films don't have great surround sound mixes. And they will use it to have a little, there's a whomp by my ear every now and then. Or, I can hear a bird tweeting behind me. This, they use surround sound in the way you're supposed to use surround sound. The point of surround sound is so that the sound can fill the room. And when it's those big action sequences, that music is coming from all at you, from all angles. So you're just surrounded by this power, which just brings up these dynamics and makes it sound so big in those big moments. There are a lot of films that do not do that. The good ones do, obviously, but up until this point, none of the Mission Impossible films have done that at all. Mm-hmm. They've all been, they've had some impact, but not to this level. This was something else.
I'm very disappointed I don't have a surround sound system.
You're welcome to come and watch it with me at some point. It's fine. It's very good.
I shall.
And I did say in the Discord, and maybe there's a little bit of bias here, but fuck me, 4K Blu-rays look good.
Oh God, they do.
Because
how's that bias?
This film looked great. I don't know how much of that is the Blu-ray and how much of that is.
Well, I mean, even it'll be the Blu-ray is just the highest quality version of what they made. We get there's still what they made. Not all 4K Blu-rays look good, and regardless of even if it is just the 4K Blu-ray, that's what they made.
Yeah, true.
So I don't think that changes anything. It's not like it's a DVD. But yeah, so I
576p.
Yeah,
even I realized there was a time that we were excited by that.
Yeah, I know. I've got them in 4K on Apple TV because I was just when we were starting Mission Impossible, I was just going to rent them because obviously the actual collection of the movies is fucking £80. Which isn't that bad, to be fair.
No, but it's a big chunk of change.
Yeah, actually. It's 6 4K Blu-rays, which are usually £25 a pop, so £80 isn't that bad. But I was just like, no. I'll buy them all on Apple TV, 4K, £20. Cool. Sorted. So even I've been watching them all in 4K, but they're still heavily compressed so that you can stream them without Goliath internet. Would be nice to have that option because I do indeed have Goliath internet. But you don't get the HDR properly either. You don't get the same sound because that's also heavily compressed. So
that's the nature of streaming services. Everything is compressed to make it streamable.
So that you can stream it. And considering it's not like different versions, you're streaming the same file, it's just giving it to you at a different quality depending on your internet speed and depending on what you're watching it on.
And it's specifically a different resolution as well. Yeah. It's still compressed.
Oh, no, absolutely. So I was because 4K movies are fucking massive uncompressed. They're going to be...
so because the Blu-rays will have a lossless file on, which are huge.
Hundreds of gig.
Yeah.
Hundreds. That's why,
That's why you need Blu-ray discs.
4K Blu-ray discs. Because they're even bigger, aren't they?
Yeah.
UHDs. Yeah, they're... Ultra horse dick discs is what they are.
I like it.
I can't. There's too small a gap for my large self to gracefully slide away.
Yep, I know that fear.
Excuse my friend's filth.
Sorry.
But no, 4K Blu-rays look great. I even said that when we had been watching Mission Impossible a few weeks in. Then Black Widow came out. I got the 4K Blu-ray and I watched it. I texted you just like, fucking hell, they look so good. It was just the opening scene and I saw the colour green. It's green and orange in particular in 4K HDR. Video games the same.
100%.
Look ridiculous. Yeah. So you can be like, 4K HDR and you're set in the middle of London or New York or whatever. You look fine. You look good. You look pretty great, in fact. Set it in the middle of a field.
Yes.
Oh my God! It's like we've mentioned on the many a show how the Grand Tour in 4K HDR looks better than life, and it doesn't make any sense. But that's probably because they've just gone green
Yes, and they're also in particularly nice places, whereas we're in Crawley.
Oh, well, that's true. That's true. We don't have many lush forests.
No, most of our forests are stained with blood of drug addicts.
And then needles.
Yeah.
And just used condoms and corpses.
Yes.
Usually.
Yeah.
Empty baggies.
Yeah.
Welcome to Crawley. Thankfully, I don't live here.
No, sorry you have to come here so regularly.
I've twiddled. I've twaddled, I've twaddled.
I see.
But it's fine. It's still working.
Because you left your mic at home, you big klutz.
I blame you entirely.
Great. But yeah, no, I love this film. Hannah, what was the face rip-off tally?
I believe, from my recollection, it is 2.
2 is what I was going with, yeah. Both of them Benji.
Yes. Which is nice. Because he's always wanted to do one.
We didn't talk about the fake hospital scene.
Oh my god, that was great. That was fucking
Genius.
amazing. That was so good. So good. I remember, I was like, did they? Is Mission Impossible Fallout in a almost post-apocalypse?
Mm-hmm.
Like, of all these, like, major cities within religious cultures, I don't know why I said it so fucking long-winded, holy cities as they're known, just gone. Is that how we're starting this movie? Holy shit. No. No.
Oh, I love
It was incredible. That scene was amazing, but I was also slightly disappointed that Mission Impossible didn't go that way.
Yeah.
That would have been fucking sick. Obviously, I don't want to actually see holy cities be bombed.
For sure.
But it would have been a fucking great way. Just like, what the fuck do you do in this scenario? Like, where do we go from here? This is the opening? What is the end? Oh my god!
But yeah, I was happy for Benji. He got to do it. He got to wear his mask a couple of times.
Twice, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And obviously a real news anchor. I like it when they do that.
Yeah.
Obviously in America, not here. They could have done. They'd already destroyed the Kremlin. That's true. That's true. That's not quite a city. It's a building.
Pretty important, though.
For sure. But obviously easier to work your way around as opposed to 3 major cities having been nuclear bombed.
I asked you the other week, but I'm interested now. What's your ranking of these? Your personal ranking of these?
6, 5, 4, 3, 1, 2.
Mine 5 and 4 are swapped for me.
That's fair.
So I preferred 4 over 5.
That's fair
So
enough.
yeah, 6, 4, 5, 3, 1, 2.
I think 3, 1, 2 is the. You can't argue that.
Yeah.
6, I don't think you can argue either. I think the 4 and 5 are interchangeable. I think they're all great, other than 2. But
Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree. As I said, I just think Fallout is next level good. I think it's very, very good. And
agreed. I'm very excited for 7.
Yeah, I am as well.
Whatever it may be.
Which is
not too long away either.
Which is nice for me to, because beforehand I wouldn't have. Oh, great, they're doing more Mission Impossible films, whatever. And I think as Mission Impossible films have come out, bearing in mind I hadn't seen any of them, my general gut feeling, which is, okay, does this franchise need to exist? Fine. Yeah, it does. It does, absolutely it does. I'm very glad you made me watch them, and I'm genuinely excited, like properly excited for Mission Impossible 7 now. So, yeah, they've done something right, clearly.
I also find it quite amusing where, because myself included, you see these franchises like, Mission Impossible 7. They've done 7 of them. They're going into Fast and Furious 10. They've done 10 of them. Oh, the 26th Marvel movie is about to come out. How exciting.
Yeah. I think the difference...
Which is 2 hours and 37 minutes long.
I think the difference, though, with the Marvel films is, for the most part, they're all different characters.
Oh, yeah. They're
So
like separate things.
There's a lot of variation.
There's none of them that are 10 movies about the same group of people.
Yet.
Well, same group of people.
Well, yeah, that's always going to change, isn't
But
it?
separated out. Like you have 3 Iron Mans, 3 Thors, 3 Caps. That's a bit wet.
Yep.
Etc. It's a universe as opposed to a franchise.
Agreed.
I don't think there's any major movie news and stuff to talk about this week. We've obviously had the news that Eternals is 2 hours and 37 minutes long.
I have to be honest, I saw that very much as a not news thing myself.
Oh, it's not news.
Like, I just kind of like, Yeah, cool, great.
It is longer than your average Marvel movie.
Yeah,
but not by much.
Yeah, not by much, and there's a lot of them which are still that long and longer. So it's just kind of like, okay,
I think
fine.
this is actually the second longest one.
You reckon?
Yeah.
Fair
2 hours and 37 is pushing it. They're usually just over the 2 hour mark.
Yeah.
Civil War gets like 2.5. But I think this is, other than Endgame, I think this is the longest one. Yeah,
I'm sure Google will tell us.
Let's investigate because this is interesting.
The longest Marvel movie
Is Endgame.
I want it to. Okay, so are you gonna give me these in some form of order? Or are you gonna be?
Because obviously, the longest is Endgame by a country mile. Then I think it'll be Eternals.
Shortest is Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Is it? I thought it was Thor: Dark World.
This is no, maybe not because that list is actually dumb. Can you not just give me the?
We could just Google Marvel movie run times.
Oh, here you go.
Rub times.
Incredible Hulk and Thor: The Dark World are tied for the shortest.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, Endgame's the longest.
Yeah.
So here we go. Endgame is the longest. Infinity War then at 2 hours 40.
Okay, so this will be third.
Yeah, because then it's Civil War at 2:27.
So this is 10 minutes longer than.
Yeah. It looks like most of them are between 2 and 2:10.
Makes sense. So this will be the third longest. I don't see that as a problem as long as the movie's good, which I'm sure it will be. I think it will fly by. Like the first time we watched Endgame, that fucking flew by.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was 3 hours. So that doesn't even particularly put me off of the midnight.
Not in the slightest. No, it didn't put me
I
off.
would need the day off.
It didn't put me off that film at all.
Afterwards.
Actually, to be honest, it doesn't. It makes me, if anything, more excited.
Yep.
That you got that much you need to show me. Cool. Because Marvel seem to be pretty clinical. So if Marvel feel like they need to give me that long,
there's a reason.
Yeah.
There's a reason. Like there isn't a huge amount you could cut out of, like Civil War. Mm-hmm. It's only 10 minutes shorter, if anything, really. Obviously, Endgame, you don't want to cut anything out, and a lot was cut out. But no, I think you're right. I don't think this is particularly major news. I just think it's
interesting.
it's interesting. It's good to know. I don't know why it matters, but yeah. So this has been Admit One, your movie and TV podcast, right here on Rabbit Hole Media. Things are changing now, as you may suspect, as Mission Impossible is over. No more Mission Impossible until like April. Doesn't matter for now. Next week, next Tuesday, we will, of course, well, Saturday, we'll be back here for Admit One, talking about what if. Great. Immediately followed by our weekly gaming podcast.
Oh, it's me
Press
this week
start.
as well, isn't it?
It is you.
Oh, fuck, duck.
It is you, so I'm afraid you don't get out of watching it. I know you watched it last time anyway, but you don't get out of watching it, I'm afraid. And then Tuesday, we will be watching No Time to Die, so make sure...
Yeah, I'm not even that excited about that film at this point.
No, neither am I.
I know that's bad. But for some reason, I'm just not...
I don't know what it is. I think it's because we've just watched the better
I think it's because we've just
Bond
watched...
movies.
Exactly, it's because we've just watched the better ones. So it's just going to be like, well...
And also Spectre wasn't very good.
Why don't you jump off a building, Daniel? Not in like a...
I thought you were talking to...
Not in like a... I want you to jump. That's come across really badly. I mean...
Do a stunt.
Yeah.
He means do a stunt.
Do a backflip.
Do a stunt that you survive. Is what he was getting at there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure it'll be fine.
Oh, yeah. No doubt it'll be fine. Hannah will not be watching that episode of...
I couldn't care less about No Time to Die. In which case, you may as well join us anyway, because then we'll spoil it for you, regale the information, and then you don't actually have to watch it. So you should come by and hang with us anyway. So No Time to Die, and then after that, the Tuesday after that, we will be talking about Rush Hour.
Yeah, that I'm excited to do. And I know we said we need to have a problematic tally, which I will do. I think we actually should tally it.
A problematic tally. Absolutely. Absolutely. We will be doing passion films. Passion films will be coming back.
We've not said that yet.
Well, we haven't. We haven't, yeah. So, as you've thrown it in the chat, we have got passion films scheduled for after Rush Hour. So we'll do Rush Hour 1, 2, 3, and then we are doing 3 weeks of passion films.
Yeah. So one picked by you, one picked by me, one picked by Rich, I believe.
Yes, or we can do audience voted ones. I don't mind.
Yeah, I don't think we've quite agreed that far, but
No,
yes, we
exactly.
will be. Passion films are coming back.
Passion films are slotted in, so fear not.
Yeah.
We will be doing
We
those.
just really wanted to do Rush Hour.
Yeah, I fancy watching them, and they're free at the moment.
They're all free.
So this is prime opportunity to watch those movies.
Basically, what you're, Jack, I think because of the weather.
Yes, I mean usually I don't leave anytime soon anyway. So
we normally do things and stuff. You'll be surprised how much work goes on behind the scenes of this damned channel.
It's ridiculous, isn't it?
It's
Last
mental.
time it was we spent 4 weeks in one evening doing
The schedule.
which then immediately went wrong.
Yes.
Because we tried to move things after we spent ages doing this, and then we're like, nah, we'll swap these. Doesn't work. How? I don't understand. But yes, after that. And of course, as we previously mentioned, when What If is over, the Saturday shows will be taken over by Spider-Man. I really want to watch Jurassic Park again, but don't want to watch it again in a couple of months.
Sorry. What?
Why would you be more? Oh, if we did it, because it's on the list of fan vote. Sorry, that's a very.
I see.
Audience voted.
Well,
Passion films.
we could do Jurassic Park as one of the passion films.
We could do Jurassic Park. I'll save it. But we can do Jurassic Park. We'll get to that. We'll figure it out. We'll figure out the specifics. But
Don't
just
have a crowd.
know
This is really difficult.
that we just know that passion films are slotted in, and everyone can rejoice as we return to the passion film. I don't know how we're going to do them, but again,
that will work out.
that's another thing. That's a behind-the-scenes thing to work out. Thank you very much for joining us this evening. Or do we? No, is the answer to that
That's
one.
Hannah saying, do we need to do all 5 before Fallen Kingdom? I'm not bothered, no.
No, I'm never ever going to watch Jurassic Park 2 and 3 again in my life. And Jurassic World, if I can help it.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't particularly like the Jurassic Park movies. Personally.
Well, even the first one.
I don't remember it very well.
That's fair.
Because I don't like the later ones, so I've not then been ever felt an urge to go back and watch the first one, because my more recent memories of them is I don't like these.
That's fair. I will throw out a tidbit, a tease for if we ever do Jurassic Park.
We can do Jurassic Park. I'm happy to do Jurassic Park upon request.
Oh, absolutely. Me too. But it is... I'm not going to say whether or not I like it, but I will say it's one of the most overrated movies of all time. If not the most overrated movie of all time.
I can't say I'm surprised.
But anyway, thank you very much for joining us. Remember to join us this Saturday for What If, so do your homework as of tomorrow when that episode drops. I'll probably be doing the dishes while watching it or something, but not paying attention.
I will put it off until 20 minutes before we go on air.
That sounds fair enough. I would if I could. But also press start, because press start is getting good this week.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
Oh, that reminds me. Thursday. Join us Thursday for Arcana Bridge of Spirits Press Start special. And yes, Hannah, Jurassic Park is the most overrated movie of all time. On that note, I'm going to keep grinning like a dickhead.
I sense a fallout happening.
And until next time, we shall see you after the pun.